If you want to learn how to make this, keep on watching. Hey everybody, Jason Cosplay here. Hey, a while back I posted on Facebook that I made my own glue pot. And since then I had a few questions on people asking me why I made my own and why not just buy it. And also people asking me how I made it. So this is my glue pot right here. Still is awesome. As you can see, the glue does not dry inside of it. Really, there's only one reason why I made this glue pot is because it's cheaper. It's a lot cheaper. So if you want to buy a glue pot that looks like this, go for it. They're awesome glue pots. They're just between $45 and $55. So me personally, I didn't want to spend that kind of money on it. So here's a list of things that you're going to need to make your glue pot. Okay, so I made mine out of a mason jar. So you can find mason jars pretty much in any store. I found these at the 99-cent store. It's a pretty cool looking little pot. It's got little skulls on it. I also found this at the dollar store also, and it is a skull. So we're going to be making our glue pot out of this one today because I think it's pretty cool. You're going to need another lid. This one does come with a lid, and it does come with a hole in it already, but you're not going to need, what you need is the lid to be in two pieces, just like a canning jar, okay? Because when you go to put on, let me show you on my glue pot. When you go to put the lid on, it seals the top, but while you're using it, you can just put it back on there like that so that the glue doesn't start to dry out. And then when you're completely done using it, then you can put your lid on. With this lid, you have to keep putting it back on and taking it off. And if you get glue on the rim, then it's going to be harder to screw on and off. So you can use this. I don't really recommend it. I would go with this. It just makes it a lot easier. Next, you're going to need epoxy. You're going to need 5-minute epoxy. The reason why you use epoxy and not hot glue or pretty much any other kind of glue, because contact cement is a solvent. It will dissolve those other glues, and well, it's just not going to work. They're going to dissolve away and your glue is going to evaporate. You're going to need a paintbrush. I like going to get these paintbrushes. I usually buy them in packs of a whole bunch of brushes, and there's different kinds of brushes in there. And I like using this big wide one like that. And for the lid, I use a thumbtack to poke a hole in the lid in the center. And then what I'll do is by hand, I have one of these fancy drill bits. You don't necessarily need one of these if you have any drill bit of work. And if you want to use a drill, go ahead, but the metal's thin enough where I'll just end up doing it by hand and getting it worked in. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to move this out of the way. I don't need that, I don't need that, and I don't need this little straw thingy here. Alright, so what you're going to want to do first is you're going to want to find the center of your lid, and you're going to want to poke a hole in this lid. Alright, so what I did was I took this this other jar, and as you can see, you can find the center really easy, and I just scribed it, took it out, and then I forced this thumbtack through the center. So now I have the center of my lid. So next, I'm going to go ahead and start drilling out the center of this lid. Now you can use a drill if you want. The lid's pretty thin, So it's not going to take much to get through it, okay? And then I'll flip it over and I'll do it from the other side, because as you can see, with any drill bit, it starts to burr. It puts a little burr on the end. So you're going to want to do it from the other side also. And keep flipping it and go back and forth. Now if you want to use gloves to do this, do it. This stuff is really, I mean, this drill bit's not that sharp. It's not where it's gonna, see, cut my finger. The lid, on the other hand, around the edge, it is pretty sharp. So if you don't have a very good grip, I would recommend using a glove. That way you can save your hand from little small cuts. Okay, so as you can see, I've got the hole already going in there. All right, so next step is to, what I want to do is I want to take the jar I'm going to use and the brush I'm going to use and put it inside here like that, so that it touches the bottom a little bit, but you're also going to kind of bend the bristles like that, just a little bit, okay? That way you know that it's all the way down in the bottom of the jar. Go like that, and then I'll take my lid and set it here on the side, and I'll mark the brush on the side by scratching it. Okay, so as you can see, let me see if I can zoom in on that or get it clear. See, you can see that I have my scratch marks there. Okay, so now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to see how it fits inside your lid. Obviously, it needs to have a bigger hole, but you're going to want to go a little bit at a time, because that hole gets widened pretty quickly. Like that. Test it out again. Not even close. I don't know if you can see this or not, but my mark's here and the lid is right here, so it's pretty close to being on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to twist the lid on further so it has a really tight fit, kind of screwing this lid onto the brush and forcing it in there, so that once it's in there, look, you may not even need any of the epoxy to hold that on there, but you're going to want to put the epoxy on anyways. Okay, so then you test it out and see if it's a decent fit, and it feels pretty good because the bristles are popping up the brush a little bit. Go ahead and screw that down a little bit more. Yeah, that's feeling good. And that's pretty good. Okay, so the next step is to mix your epoxy and glue it. Okay, so when I'm gonna mix up the epoxy, I usually get like a scrap piece of cardboard or something like that, and something that I just can mix it up with and apply it, because it's gonna be thrown away. All right, you're just gonna throw this away anyways, because once the epoxy sets, yeah, you can't do anything with it. So what you're going to want to do is carefully squeeze out your epoxy onto your piece of cardboard like that, and you don't need much. Make sure you put the lid in there. See, you don't need a whole lot. So then what you're going to do is you're going to mix it. So it's a two-part. What it is a chemical reaction. When they react with each other, it warms up and then it starts to harden, and it only takes 5 minutes to set. Okay, so that's it. Now I'm only going to glue it on the underside of this brush. I'm not going to glue it on the top. I want the top to stay as clean as possible. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to scoop it and you're going to apply it. You're going to walk it all the way around like that, right in the corner. Get all that down inside the corner. Okay. Okay, so from here, I don't know if you can see that, but it's got the glue all the way around in the corner. And what I'll do is I'll turn it on its side and I'll just start spinning it like this. Two things that this does is because the glue is still liquid, it's going to keep all the glue in one spot. So if you stopped, the glue's going to run. Or if you hold it like this, the glue's just going to flatten out. Or if you hold it like this, the glue's just going to run down the paintbrush. But if you keep spinning it, it stays right where it's at. And the second reason why you want to do this is because as you're spinning it, you can look at the edge of your lid to see if it's straight. If it looks like it's going like this while you spin it, then you need to try and adjust your lid so that it's straight. So this is going to take like 5 minutes to do. So you have to keep doing this for 5 minutes. All right, it's been roughly 5 minutes and it looks like my glue is all set up. So how you can test it is you can put your finger on it and it's going to feel sticky, but it's not going to stick to your finger. So that's how you know that the glue is set. So it's called 5-minute epoxy. It basically takes about 5 minutes to set to where it's not going to move, and whatever you have it glued to, you can move on to other parts of your project or whatever. But you need to let this dry for 12 hours at least. Go 24 if you can, before you add the contact cement to your jar. Okay, so just set it in your jar and just set it off to the side and forget it. And then the next day you can go ahead and fill your jar up with contact cement and you're ready to go. So that is how I made my glue pot, and it's awesome. The ways to avoid getting the glue on the rim: when you bring your paintbrush out of the glue pot like this, what I do is I wipe it on the inside lip like that. And try not to wipe it here on the rim to clean off the excess glue. Wipe it on the inside lip. You see how this jar's curved right there? And that's going to help you keep your lid from permanently getting glued onto your jar. So that's how I do it. And you can do the same thing with the skull jar, because it's right there. Get the excess glue off, put it on your project, put the thing back in, and yeah, that's it. Okay guys, so that's it. That's how I made my own glue pot. If you liked this video and you thought it was informative, comment down below. Definitely give me a like. Subscribe also, please. I'm looking for more subscriptions. And I'm going to see you guys on the next cosplay. So keep on cosplaying.